Chacho 2018, the DeSantis booth with Gene DeSantis.
In person. How are you, Stu?
Yes, sir. It's definitely in
Good to see
person.
you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I really didn't expect that to be the case.
Yeah, well, I'm here. I've been at all, the last 39 out of 40 I've exhibited at.
At Chacho?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Well, again...
I know I'm dating myself by doing that. But that's okay.
No. You,
no more thin skin.
No more thin skin. Well, and it's going to be a little difficult for me to, I mean, you're like one of my uncles almost, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to, normally I joke around a little bit, I'm going to have a little difficulty with that. But listen, sir, I appreciate what you've done with the...
Over that way.
No, they're okay. Beautiful ladies walking in the background. Hey, beautiful ladies walking in the background, what's wrong with that?
Get out of here, girls.
Yeah, go buy something, right? So...
Okay, what would you like to know?
Well, I'd like to know what got you started. I mean, you were already established by the time I was using your equipment.
I'll give you a quick bio.
Yeah.
1964, we'll start there. Graduated high school. Was attending a junior college, and I went under 12 credits. I got drafted, so I had to do military service.
What branch?
Army. And they were drafted into the Marine Corps the day I went in. That was in October of '66. That was the biggest draft call of the entire Vietnam era. But I went in, I was not a happy camper, I didn't want to be there, but I made the best of it. I was a lieutenant before the first year was out.
Within 1 year?
Within less than a year. And I served my time, I did what I had to do, and I got right back into school, only this time Uncle Sam was paying for it.
Yeah, Bill?
I studied engineering. My last 2 years of engineering at Pratt Institute was when I started the holster business. I was always a tinkerer, made belts and little gadgets out of leather, but one fella that I made fast friends with was an FBI agent, and he was just here, in fact, not long ago.
The gentleman you were talking to just now with his wife?
No.
Oh, before that?
Yesterday.
I'm sure you've made a lot of friends over the years, right?
I can't count how many.
It's
incredible. But I was making a few holsters a week for the FBI and their associates. They worked with task force, so we had PD and their state police and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
But it was limited. I was making one or two by hand,
right.
Stitching by hand and all of that. And
those were custom pieces? And were those like to spec order? I mean, like one guy would say, I want this, and another guy say, I want that?
I had a couple of basic models, and those I would reproduce.
Right.
And I wasn't looking to be, a mass marketer.
Right.
But I'm glad I stuck with it. I would have been working in some boring engineering office.
Yeah.
But this is actually much more fun and, incidentally, much more lucrative.
Well, yes, obviously. Now, the type of engineering that you were... Structural engineering, that was your target.
Architectural structure.
Architectural structure, but you're making architectural structure holsters and belts.
And I love doing this.
Okay, good. So this was basically became your passion, your interest.
My avocation became my vocation.
Beautiful. So at what point, what stage, you're making individual holsters for people that you meet, and you're being referrals, you're getting, people are making a call for you or whatever?
We were making a few. Once I went officially into business, I got the first few pieces of machinery. I think I started out with a budget of $2,000, something like that I had saved.
And that was in the 60s?
In the 74.
74? Okay. So $2,000 is a lot of money then.
Well,
it's still a lot of money.
In today's dollars, what would it be? 8,000? Not a lot of money to start a business with.
Exactly. Especially something like this.
Yeah. And I learned by making mistakes, not by working for somebody else or copying somebody else's work.
You were doing your own thing. Did you...
My first big hurdle that I came across, I was making friends with so many different law enforcement guys that my real beginning was with Secret Service. I have a long time, and we've made their holsters for decades. Long-standing relationship with them, and those friends that I met in the early years introduced me to other people from other agencies. What a great network I had. I knew so many people, and I still do, and many of them I'm still friends with.
Right, and God forbid, or God willing, they're still with us. Now, so what was the year that you actually made a real profit at your business? Because you're starting off slow.
The first 4 years, my accountant said, "You better go back to engineering. This is not working."
Right.
but my wife was working full time and
Somewhere else or with you?
No, full time somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
And she was making a good living, and we managed.
Okay, so you didn't have to have a secondary employment or like a day job is what some people
Not
would
at
call
all.
it. Okay, beautiful. So,
And there was no internet then. There were no directions to be had on how to make holsters.
right.
There are today.
Well,
When I
back
started there were 6 or 8 recognized companies. Now there are probably 600.
then, right.
Now everybody takes a little piece.
Well, back then, making a phone call was an extra cost. I mean, there was, that was a big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So
That was when I started. We were still using rotary dials.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, at what stage were you working in the garage, or did you have an actual
Started
shop
originally, the first few for the FBI. All of that stuff was done on the kitchen table.
on the kitchen table?
And
When
then
did you move into an actual
In
facility?
1974, I was done with school. I finished up my engineering degree, and I went immediately into this business.
Okay. And at what stage? About what year were you starting to hire employees or have a staff?
Almost immediately, I hired the first employee, and between the two of us, we were able to produce quite a few holsters,
Beautiful.
and it got bigger and bigger.
Right.
We're how many years? I don't know how many. 45 years or something.
Right. Right.
We're in our 6th location.
As far as a production facility,
Every location got bigger and better,
and you outgrew it, and you had to go.
Now we're in almost 50,000 square feet, and I mean, my office that I have now is about as big as my first factory, if you want to call it that.
Your offices. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, especially the kitchen table. Go
Yeah,
figure.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So, it's just been great talking to you.
And it's been
I
a
got to
great-
say, sir, I've used some of your equipment and your gear, rather, not really equipment, and as a factory production piece in my time frame, as good as anything else, and if not better.
We're coming into some major league jobs now. We can produce. I mean, we're geared up for production. We can produce. Well, I'll give you an example. We did a job for TSA very recently. They gave us. It was a tough crunch. They gave us 3 weeks to do
To
the
come
job.
up with the bids or the
And-
job,
Do the job.
the whole job.
They needed the whole thing. 7,000 pieces. We did it in 2 weeks.
And any of this farmed out to overseas or offshore, all in-house
In-house.
out of New York.
And right now, the U.S. Army is, as you know, probably are getting
Yes,
a new
sir.
gun. We just today got word that we're in the finals.
The final
I think we're
sequence
down
of
to 2 companies being considered, and we're one of them.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it is outstanding.
Outstanding. Is there anything that you have done that is new to the industry within the last year, or is,
But I mean,
other than
you've
these
seen
contracts?
fanny pack holsters.
Yes, sir.
They're common, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Made all over the world.
Right.
All the first ones were designed by me.
You came up with that concept.
My patents. Most of my competitors at that point took licenses. They all paid me royalties every month.
In an honorable fashion.
In an honorable one
Yeah.
that wasn't a little less than honorable. We had to really fight it out with him a little, but
Was that an American company?
It was, and they're here exhibiting.
And they still exist.
They still exist.
But you ironed that out?
We ironed it out, but thankfully that money bought me a new Harley Davidson that year.
You like bikes?
I've got more bikes than you can shake a stick at.
Oh my God. What makes do you like?
I have 2 Harleys right now and another Harley on order, and I have a bunch of other little bikes.
Kawasaki's, Hondas, et cetera, et cetera. What's your favorite Harley?
Right now, it's an old man's bike. It's a Heritage Softail, or Softail Heritage.
Right, right.
And I just ordered a new one, which is a very limited production. I'm not going to be able to get it out of New York because the dealers there only get 1 or 2 of them. They're all accounted for.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they itemize them.
We
Yeah,
found one yesterday in Georgia, and that bike is mine.
it's yours. Delivery time is estimated at what?
Whatever. I'll have them shipped to New York.
You know what? This is my suggestion, in a very respectful
Yeah.
way, because, like I said, you remind me of some people I know. I would say, please have them ship it to Stewart, and I will be happy to deliver it personally to you across the country. Does that sound like a deal?
Where are you? Oh, you're out of Fresno.
California. Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, listen,
Good talking to you,
sir. It was outstanding. Thank
Nice
you very much.
talking to you, Mike.
Long life to you.
And if you knew how they were filming this, audience, this is on an iPhone with a
A gimbal. They call it a gimbal, yeah.
gadget below it.
Yeah.
I'll call it a gadget. I don't know what an iPhone gimbal is all about, but I'm sure it does a good job.
Mr. DeSantis, you strike me with a very big compliment with the audience thing. Yeah, who listens, right?
Whatever, somebody's going to listen.
Somebody's going to listen, right? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Take
My
good care.
pleasure.
Safe travels.
See you guys.